Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So today I'm going to be covering 5 life lessons that I have learned from playing RuneScape. Now that might sound a little weird to say, but this game has had a huge influence on pretty much like everything that I do in my life. Probably because I started playing this game at such a young age. Just to put into perspective, I've been playing this game for pretty much, I'd say 13 or 14 years at this point. My main focus right now is obviously the Ironman account, where we're almost maxed the Ironman on old school RuneScape. I have two maxed accounts actually on RuneScape 3. They're not maxed anymore because of the new skills, and I have another account that I'm going to be playing throughout this whole video and just the little background and stuff like that. But yeah, I've had a lot of experience with RuneScape, and there is so many life lessons that I've learned from this game. So if you guys like this video, make sure to smash the like button. Alright, so we're going to start this video off by talking about probably the one that has been most influential with my life. The first one is going to be patience, and patience is something that a lot of people, especially these days, do not have. Probably because of things like TikTok and just instant gratification with pretty much everything in our lives now. It's pretty much designed to just give us instant dopamine and instant gratification with pretty much everything in our lives, right? And a game like RuneScape isn't really like that. You kind of have to work for everything that you get. Literally every single thing that you get on this game, you have to go ahead and put in the hours and actually work for it, which a lot of, I know some games have, but not on the scale and the level of RuneScape. And, you know, learning this at such a young age, when I started playing RuneScape, I was like 9 years old, and learning that it takes you hundreds of hours to kind of get a goal that you want, I think is a great thing. It kind of teaches you like how in real life things are not just handed to you, and you actually have to go ahead and put the work and dedication into doing something, right? Now, it honestly, like if you look at it this way, it takes longer to max a RuneScape account than, unless you play like 20 hours a day, but it takes you longer to max a RuneScape account on an Ironman, we'll say, than it does to get like a college degree. If you look at it that way, right, it just takes you forever to do things. And I know it's a different level, different scale and stuff like that, but if you actually, you know, learn from a young age that things take time, and if you just keep working at it and pushing, you will eventually get to your goal. If you learn that at such a young age, it will be very influential on you throughout your entire life. So, you know, at a young age, I think my first 99 was 99 cooking. And, you know, it took me a long time, like a couple of years after starting the RuneScape account. I know that sounds ridiculous now, but it was a different time back then. I was also a lot younger, didn't play on the computer as much. But, you know, whenever I did log onto the computer, I would grind, and I eventually got that goal of 99 cooking. And it was one of the coolest feelings ever, you know, when you actually work for something and get the end result. It's different than, you know, you set a small goal of getting like anything in life, you know what I mean? Like I can't even think of a good example right now, but it pushes you to go ahead and do crazy things. So it's kind of one of those things that I learned from a very young age to, you know, start going ahead and grinding. Jesus Christ, I've fallen here like 5 times now, but this has helped me in my real life because when I was 16 years old, I have never had interest in cars my entire life. And when I was 16 years old, my dad pretty much forced me to go get a license, and he said it will be one of the most useful tools you'll ever use. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't need to drive anywhere. You know, I can just walk to school. And, you know, when you're that young, you don't really care about it, right? And then the second I got my license and started driving, I was like, this is the most useful tool ever. And, you know, cars are really expensive and stuff like that. So I went out of the way, got a job. I worked full time while I was in high school and saved up for a car. It wasn't the best car in the world by any means, but a couple years down the line, at 19 years old, I bought a brand new car just because of the dedication that I've learned from RuneScape. Like, if you want something, you work for it and you get it, you know what I mean? And if you kind of like set yourself a goal, like, you know, 99 Slayer or, you know, getting a car, it's very similar if you look at it that way. You know, you put in the hours, you end up getting the goal. And it doesn't have to be something as extreme as getting a car or getting a house or something like that. But if you learn that things take time and dedication, that is something beautiful that you can learn, and you can learn it from playing a game like RuneScape, right? You know, you don't learn that from scrolling through TikTok or Instagram and just getting these instant dopamine kickers. Alright, the second life lesson that I've learned from RuneScape is math, and honestly English, to be completely honest with you. I've never been good at English, but RuneScape has you read a lot of things, but I'm not going to really cover that as much as math. Growing up, I always kind of liked math more, but RuneScape really taught me and made me actually like fall in love with math, if that sounds kind of weird. I went to school for business, probably, stemming from playing RuneScape at the very young age, always calculating numbers and GP and money and stuff like that. And it just teaches you, it's the same kind of thing as like going for a 99 skill, and you kind of work towards doing that. It's 13 million XP, but if I get this much XP an hour, it's going to take me this many hours. And it just was one of those weird things that I did at such a young age, calculating these weird formulas to go ahead and get 99s or do something the most efficient way possible, or even, saving up for an item in the game, and I'd have to like calculate, I can make this much gold an hour and this and that. It's a really cool thing that I got to learn at such a young age from playing RuneScape. And it was one of those weird things where like teachers would be like, I don't get how this kid would be able to understand this equation. This is the thing I hated about math in school. I kind of liked doing things in my head, or in like my own way of doing a math problem, which in high school, they want you to follow these weird formulas, these weird ways of you doing it. So like I remember vividly one time, I think it was a grade 9 or grade 10 math class, the teacher puts up a problem or whatever, and he gives us, 10 minutes to solve it. And then 1 minute later, I come back and I'm like, there's your answer. And he's like, how the hell did you do that? And it's just like, I didn't follow your formula, but he didn't even mark me. He gave me a bad mark because I didn't follow the fucking formula. Like, if you know how to do math, you can do it in your head. So I didn't really like math as much going into, grade 11, grade 12. When I got to college, they didn't make you use formulas. They just, do it your own way. And that's the best part about college compared to high school. But it was just really funny. The teacher was like, how did you do that? And I'm like, I just did. And he's like, yeah, and that's from playing RuneScape, by the way. The third life lesson that I've learned from playing RuneScape is kind of similar to the first one in a way of setting goals and stuff like that, and, patience, but it's helped me learn budgeting and just financial stuff in general. Now, like you earn GP throughout the game, and it's kind of like earning money in real life, right? You put more work in and you work harder, you make more money. If you want to relax and kind of, have a chill kind of thing, you make less money. And that's kind of like real life in a way. I mean, some jobs and things like that, are very hard and they don't pay enough and stuff like that. But, it kind of taught me budgeting and saving money. I've always saved a lot of my GP on RuneScape. All my friends would buy these crazy expensive items like bandos and all this when I was a kid, and I would just kind of like save my money for skills and XP and stuff like that, investing in myself. Kind of a weird thing to look at it that way, but I would try to always make the most amount of money playing RuneScape, and various different ways of making money, like setting up farm runs, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a little passive money maker sort of thing like that. And, then just killing bosses and kind of like, I can't even say the word, diversifying the ways that I make money on RuneScape. And that has kind of really helped me in the real world as well. Kind of got me into starting to invest in the stock market and random little bits and pieces here and there that will make passive income, and just kind of always realizing that there is something better that you can be doing to make money. No matter what you do and what you are, you could always be making more money. And yeah, that's really the truth of it. You could be making the best job, have the best job in the world, be making so much money, but you could be doing more. There's always somebody that's going to be doing more, and that's kind of something that RuneScape has taught me. And same as saving for something like a car, or saving for something like a house or whatever it is. If you budget properly and make the extra money that you need to, you will eventually get to your goal and do that. But it has taught me finances and stuff like that, for sure, tons of it with playing RuneScape. Now, this next one is kind of going to be a really weird one, and it could have started with any game, sort of, but I pretty much learned it from RuneScape. Now, the internet, right? I started playing RuneScape 2009. I was 9 years old. And YouTube and stuff like that, these big sites were just starting to pop off. So being a curious kid, you know what I mean, looking up like how to get this item on RuneScape, it taught me how to use the internet and how to find all these websites, and it taught me just how to genuinely use everything with the internet. That's led to so much. Obviously me starting a YouTube channel and, you know, learning about VPNs and learning about software and stuff like that. And I pretty much know everything about a computer for the most part now. Maybe not like an Apple computer, but a Windows computer and stuff like that. I learned it all just from playing RuneScape, right? Before that, I really had no interest in computers or the internet or anything like that. I might have been too young to really care about the internet, but if you look at kids today, right, they're on the internet at 5 years old, right? I didn't ever go on the internet really before playing RuneScape. The odd time I would, you know, like watch a video with my parents or whatever. But yeah, RuneScape really taught me how to, you know, go on the internet, use a computer, because, you know, it led into so many other things, right? Then I found about Minecraft and doing all the Minecraft mods and stuff, and that really kind of taught me how to use a computer, use software, and use stuff like that. And then eventually making RuneScape videos has taught me so much about computers, right? I learned how to edit, I learned how to record videos, make the software, and all this random stuff that I learned just from the stem of starting RuneScape at a young age and being curious and looking up stuff on the internet. And obviously this has helped me with my English and stuff like that as well too, with spelling and all this random stuff that you use the internet for. But yeah, I mean, I eventually obviously would have used the internet if it wasn't for RuneScape, but it really started me off at a young age loving computers and loving the internet. And the last life lesson that I've learned from playing RuneScape is trust. Now, every player on this game is not going to be the best person in the world, and that is very similar to the real world, right? Like, you know, no matter how likable you are or whatever, there's always going to be somebody who just dislikes you for no reason, or there's always going to be somebody trying to scam you and trying to take advantage of you to benefit themselves. And, you know, if you learn that at a very young age, right, like people back in the day would try and lure people, try to take their bank, try to, you know, whatever it was to benefit themselves. And I saw this happen all the time. And I never really got lured, but I did get my account hacked once, which is another video that I will talk about in the future. But yeah, you get to learn how people are, and you can't trust everyone, especially people on the internet. You can't trust them. You don't know them, you know what I mean? You have to be safe and stuff like that. And knowing that there was bad people out there at a young age trying to scam people and stuff like that, you know, obviously it's the same thing in the real world. Tons of people are trying to, you know, scam others to benefit themselves. And if you learned that at a very young age from playing RuneScape, you know, you kind of already have it in the back of your mind that, hey, this could happen in the real world as well. And it obviously does, right? That tons of bad things happen in the real world every single day. And, you know, if you have such a big game like RuneScape, you're not going to get every player being like the best person whatever in the world. There's going to be people out there trying to scam, trying to, you know, do all these things like botting and all this illegal stuff, black market and whatever, and that's the same as the real world. So I learned that at a very young age as well. Overall, I'm very glad that I started playing RuneScape at such a young age, and I learned so much by just playing this game. And, you know, I continuously learn stuff every single day, and it's a game that you really never stop learning. You know, there's always something new you could do, an update every single week. There's always something new you can do, something new you can learn and stuff like that. But I'm really glad that I started playing RuneScape at such a young age, learning so much about just like life in general. The really big ones, like I said with the start of the video, like just like setting goals and patience and stuff like that. I have so much patience for things that I shouldn't, you know what I mean? And that reflects in the real world. Just like, I know that if you work towards something, you will eventually get it. And you know, if you just be consistent with it and patient, you will eventually get whatever you want in life. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. If you did, go ahead and watch the whole video. Comment Elking down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.